Hi there, Jenna here, and this is a video for the adults who are taking care of Montessori children right now. And I wanted to show you today how to give a 3-period vocabulary lesson. So you may have heard your child's teacher, myself, or otherwise talking about 3-period lessons. This is a technique that we use nonstop in the Montessori classroom to expand children's vocabulary and to teach them new words. And we use it to introduce a variety of concepts across all the different disciplines, and it's one that you can employ really easily at home. So I want to teach you today how to give a 3-period lesson to your child with anything that you might like to teach them. I happen to have a few animals here, so you could do it with something like that, but you can apply this to absolutely anything. So you could use it to teach them the names of different kinds of bugs or different kinds of plants that grow near your house, different types of food, anywhere that your child is at, anything that they're interested in. And it could be as simple, as this is a carrot and this is an apple and this is, a tomato. Or it could be something much more complex. We shouldn't underestimate children's ability to learn long, complex terminology for things, especially if they're taught in a simple method like this. So again, apply it to anything as you wish, but here's a place to start. And no matter what age your child is, you can use this technique. So I would begin by simply introducing the child. This is the first period, so I'd introduce them to the name of each item. This is an elk. This is a ram. And this is a goat. And then you could repeat it. Elk, ram, goat. Simple as that. That's the whole first period. Now, for the second period, you're going to be engaging the child with recalling the names that you've just introduced by having them respond to a series of commands. And this both helps them to learn the language as well as helps them practice following any directions that you're giving them. So an added benefit of this type of lesson is that it cultivates listening skills and it cultivates cooperation in the child because they're practicing doing what you say, basically. So this is the part where you tell them something to do with the items and then they do it. So you could say, put the elk here, and then the child should put the elk there. Put the ram here. Put the goat there. Hold your hand over the goat. Pick up the ram. Give me the elk. And perhaps they'd give you the elk. So you get the gist, so on and so forth. And you can make the commands as interesting or exciting for your child as you need to. It might be run around the kitchen with the elk, and then they run a lap around the kitchen and bring it back to you. It could be take the goat for a walk to the bathroom, and they could go and do that and, do something silly or funny with it so that they can remember. If your child's attention span is a bit shorter, you can make it as concise as you need to. So it might just simply go goat, elk, ram, and you tell them to move them around. And you would repeat that stage of the lesson for as long as you feel like you need to until the child is accurately recalling all of the new vocab. An important thing to note is that if a child makes a mistake, so say you say, put the elk here, and the child moves the ram, you would simply say, that's the ram. Affirm what it is, not necessarily telling the child that they're wrong, but this is the ram. Can you find the elk? And just redirecting them to what you're looking for. So you kind of just roll with a mistake and carry on the lesson, reaffirming what the thing was that you were looking for. And then again, do that for as long as you need to, as many different commands until you feel like the child has a solid grasp of the new vocab that you're trying to teach them. And then comes the third period. During the third period of the 3-period lesson is when we ask the child to recall what it is they learned. And that's very easy. We simply say, what is this? And hopefully the child says, the goat. What is this? The elk. What is this? The ram. And if they can complete all that, then you've gotten a full lesson and you know that they now know that vocabulary. Again, if a child makes a mistake at this phase, very easy. You just back up a stage, go back to the second period, do more commands. Oh, that's the elk. Put the elk over here. Oh, that's the ram. Give me the ram. Hold your hand over the ram. Pet the ram. And you can just keep playing again in the second period for as long as you need to, and then try the third period again. So again, a very forgiving type of lesson, very simple to practice and can be applied to any kind of vocabulary that you'd like your child to know. This is something that you can do yourself when you have time, or when the moment strikes. Perhaps you're out on a walk and there's some new plants that your child has never seen before, or perhaps you're noticing the birds out in the yard and you can make little cards for them or draw a picture, of a robin and a blue jay or something along those lines, and practice the vocabulary that way. So many different ways to adapt this, to apply it for you in your particular situation, and again, a really great way to expand your child's vocabulary and their practice with words. If your child is a writer and has gotten to that level, and you're doing perhaps more complicated vocabulary with them, you could prompt them after a lesson like this to see if they could sound out the words and write a label to go with each of the items. So you can take it a little bit further for an older child, or for somebody younger, maybe they really are learning the names of these animals, and that's exactly where they should be right now. So hope this is informative and helpful for you, and feel free to reach out with any questions. All right, good luck.